A few weeks ago, I made some sound predictions for the epic naturals in MSM Composer. That video was really fun to make, so I wanted to make another video talking about a different class of monsters, Rare Ethereals. Since all of the Ethereals are in the Composer app and have rare forms that aren't, I thought this could be another fun topic for me to discuss. Like last time, I will not be including vocalists due to the natural vocalists monsters not having rares in the Composer app at this time. Let's move on to the predictions. When I thought about Rare Ghazt, I remembered a certain moment from the last video. I also thought about chimes because I would really like to see that type of sound in the game. When I talked about Epic Quibble, I stated how I wish chimes, aka tubular bells, were in the Composer app, so when I thought about Rare Ghazt, I thought that tubular bells would be a perfect fit for it, so that's what I decided on. With that being said, like last time, I will play an auditory example of each instrument so that you all know what type of sound I may be referring to when I speak of a certain instrument. So here's Rare Ghazt's example. Rare Reebro is a similar case to when I was brainstorming ideas for epic T-Rocks. There's plenty of different types of drum kit sounds, but it's so difficult to choose just one. In the end, I was able to choose a style that I was pretty satisfied with, which was drum and bass. I love the genre and it has quite a recognizable ring to it. Also, it literally has drums in the name, so it felt perfect for this, especially when comparing it to the Rare Reebro's design. Here's an example. For Rare Jeeode, I wanted to stick to the glassy vibe of the instruments, so I pretty quickly thought of what instrument I thought could fit pretty well, the glockenspiel. Glockenspiels are a very nice instrument that can be heard in a lot of songs, spanning from classical music to electronic music. With that said, here is once again another example. What I came up with for Rare Humbug is something that feels like it oddly works, so I definitely took into account its design, specifically its mouth. It took me a little bit of time to get to the final idea, but I landed on a melodica. If Rare Humbug were to use its mouth to make music, I could definitely hear this being the sound for it. With that being said, here is a sample of the audio. I was all over the place for Rare Socks since it was hard to land on just one instrument. I knew I wanted it to be some sort of brass, but it was difficult to choose one. Eventually, I ended up choosing one, but simply because it isn't really present in MSM yet. The instrument I chose was an oboe. Like I said, I don't really have much of a reasoning behind why, other than the fact that it doesn't really make an appearance in the MSM franchise. What I will say is that we definitely need more brass in the Composer app because we have a limited selection at the moment, so any type of new brass would be welcome at this point as long as it's, in tune, because we know how some monsters can be with that. Here's an example of an oboe. Rare Arackulele was one of the few easy ones on this list, so it was refreshing to quickly have an idea that I was happy with. I wanted to stick to the stringed instrument trend so I went with the first thing that popped in my head, a ukulele. Now you may be asking, based on the name, doesn't the Arackulele play the ukulele? And to my surprise as well, it actually isn't. According to the MSM wiki, it states that it actually plays an acoustic guitar. So with this being the case, I thought it would make complete sense for the Rare Arackulele to play an actual ukulele. Here's how it would sound. For Rare Boodoo, I wanted to stick with the same vibe of instrument and not change things up too much. Of course I wanted an instrument that would be audibly different, but not substantially. Since common Boodoo plays the tambourine, I decided to choose a cabasa. Cabasas have a very nice and crisp sound, so I think its addition to the Composer app would be a very welcome one. Here are some sounds of a cabasa. When brainstorming for Rare Bellowfish, it was difficult at first, but when I thought of the instrument, it was an instant match in my mind. Since Bellowfish's main feature is its accordion arms, it was hard to think of another sound it could make since accordions are such unique instruments. However, when I randomly got the idea of a harmonica, it made so much sense to me to have that be the Rare sound. As per usual, here is what a harmonica sounds like. Rare Dragong was probably the most difficult monster on this list to come up with an idea for. The main reason for that is because of the sound the common Dragong's feet make, which are like a low thud. Since we don't have any way to compare the commons to any other variation of themselves, it makes it that much more difficult to come up with ideas. But I have two sound ideas for the Rare Dragong that works, so allow me to explain. What I came up with was a splash cymbal for the tail cymbals and a muted cymbal for its feet. I think generally splash cymbals are a very unique type of cymbal and have a nice sound that can be used for a short cymbal crash, which I believe fits Rare Dragong. I chose a muted cymbal for Rare Dragong's feet because it made sense with the theme of Dragongs. Since it's stomping down and its feet are in a cymbal-like shape, I feel like a muted cymbal would work fairly well with this design, along with the fact that this sound could be another fairly nice addition to the app. And finally, Rare Fung Prey. There were a handful of different directions I could have gone with Rare Fung Prey, but I knew that there was a certain instrument which felt like it would fit in the Fung Prey family well. The instrument I chose was an erhu, which is a Chinese instrument that has two strings and is played with a bow. It's reminiscent of a violin, but its sound is very unique and fits Rare Fung Prey perfectly in my opinion. Here's its sound. And with that being said, those are all of my Rare Ethereal predictions for the Composer app minus the vocalists. I really hope you all enjoyed my 2 cents on these rares, and I'll be happy to see what you all think in the comments below. Feel free to share your predictions and opinions on these monsters, and make sure to, keep it friendly and stuff. To give a small outlook on this mini prediction series, I hope to eventually do predictions for the Epic Ethereals, and for this point in time, I probably won't do predictions for Rare and Epic Seasonals, due to them all being vocalists. However, if they were to add the auxiliary seasonals some days, then I probably would, but for now I likely won't do predictions on the seasonals. Anyways, thanks for listening to me ramble about monster sound predictions, and I will see you all soon. See ya.